Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, July 15th, 2023. In this video, we're going to look at the motive and rationale behind a new and soon to be aired adult animated comedy. The imagery that I'm using in this video is available on YouTube. The article I'm referencing, you can navigate to yourself. Understand, I'll be speaking carefully, trying to avoid getting in trouble. Okay. Let me show you where I found an article. And again, the trailer is available on YouTube, but it's also embedded in this article that we're going to. 1 second. All right. HollywoodReporter.com has this announcement about the upcoming new adult animated comedy called Praise Petey. The trailer is available here, and as I said, it is on YouTube, so you can just simply look at it on YouTube if you'd like. The premise for the show is that a young woman inherits a cult that her father had started, and there's ritualistic behavior in that cult that's rather alarming. And I had a viewer that asked me, is it possible that this is a soft disclosure for our beloved normies, or is there more going on? I thought that was a really excellent question to ask the universe. So let's do that, shall we? We're going to be asking about the rationale and motive behind the creation of this new adult animated comedy that is being produced from one of the Disney subsidiaries. And just so you know, Disney does have their hand in this. And let's see what the motive and rationale was. Is it soft disclosure? Is it something else? The universe will know, and we'll find out together. 1 second. Okay, rationale and motive. That's truly at the heart of this new adult animated comedy that will be airing 10 episodes for season 1, starting on the 21st of this month. The first card is the Four of Wands. Then we have the Nine of Wands, Knight of Cups, Page of Pentacles, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands. Look at all the wands here. Okay, so wands are our suit of actions. So there's a lot of actions going on and a little trickery. Let's discuss that in a little more detail. I'm going to be taking care of the glare. That's hopefully a little better. It's not perfect, but I do what I can. Okay, so we were wondering, is the premise and motive behind this upcoming animated adult comedy one of soft disclosure, and or is something else going on? Now, what's happening with the all the wands showing up here? This is unusual to get this many in a read. So let's look at what they do. We've got the Four of Wands here. There was they were pretty happy with this idea, decided to run with it. They're getting some pushback from people, oddly enough, or not so oddly, with some of the scenes and situations that will be discussed in that animated series. They were hoping it was innocuous enough that people would let it slide. I say that, look, in the recent past, we have the Knight of Cups. He's a tricky fellow, okay? He makes false promises and he plays on emotions, okay? So they were hoping, again, by virtue of an animated comedy, to slide past any kind of pushback from the viewing public. Although the viewing public has learned to be very, very cautious with products that are associated with the Disney label in any way, shape, or form. And so that we've got the trickery here. Now look here in the current, we have the Page of Pentacles showing up. Page of Pentacles, again, financial opportunity. They thought they had a moneymaker. They're running with it. Okay. And then they were also hoping that there would be some implied consent given. That's where they're a little surprised at some of the pushback that's coming from people when we understand the premise of this series. And again, you can watch the trailer on YouTube, no problem with that. Okay, so for the near future, we have the King of Wands, which is a card of vision, saying that it's telling me that people aren't going to be tricked. They're not going to allow their energy to be construed as implied consent. And that's good. We need to understand what incredible power we have of revoking and recalling consent, that we can view media and participate with media, music, what have you. But the importance is to say, but this doesn't mean I give my consent for this to become part of my reality, to be accepted or normalized. So I think that those days are over. There's enough of us that are awake and understand that power and wield it intelligently, and it's making a difference. It really has. So we've got the vision card here, the near future. We have Queen of Wands showing up also. She's a card of optimism and inspiration and self-mastery. So again, we each individually, those of us that know about our powers of consent, we're going to make a difference in what happens with this. It's not going to be quite the moneymaker that they hoped for when they laid their plans. The Page of Wands is showing up also. Page of Wands is a card of cautious optimism. So again, the universe is feeling pretty positive that even though there's yet another attempt to normalize something that maybe shouldn't be normalized, or no maybe about it, in today's world, it's not going to work out the way they hope. Let's get a couple other cards and see if there's more insights from the universe about this new Page of Cups showing up here. Okay, and Two of Cups. So this is our love suit, our emotion suit. Okay, this in this partnership, we are understanding that participating in media means that there's a partnership that goes on, and we need to understand how important it is to take a step back from it. There's a hidden blessing here. Okay, despite what their intent was, that they thought they had a well thought out plan, and they're surprised by the pushback, and they haven't been really honest about some of the reasoning and rationale behind this. People are figuring it out, and hidden blessing for us, we're learning yet another opportunity to practice those powers of consent or non-consent. So let's recap. We were asking about the rationale and motive behind the new upcoming animated adult cartoon called Praise Petey. Wondering if it was a soft disclosure, if for some reason, possibly as a consequence or part of a bargaining, this was rolling out. And we got nothing to indicate that. What we did get was that there was a thought that they had a very well thought out premise, something that hadn't been explored yet. The fact that it's receiving the attention it is, and the perspective of a lot of that attention is very surprising to them. It shouldn't be to those that are awake. Okay, now, recent past, fraud and trickery. Okay, they were hoping to slide this past viewers because it's simply a comedy. It's an animated comedy. It's much more than that. It's yet another attempt by negative energy to get implied consent because people view it. Understand, you can participate in media, you can watch it, you can view it, but it's so important at the end of it. If you've been watching something that is disturbing or upsetting, or that just isn't your cup of tea, say, I watched this for information, I watched this hoping for entertainment, but I do not give any consent for this to become part of my reality. And that's powerful. In the past, our viewing and participation in media, books we read, things we watch, we've discussed this before, has been viewed as implied consent by negative forces. So you still can view whatever you want to view, and you can read whatever you want to read. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying, understand you've got a lot of power at your fingertips at the end of that viewing or reading to say, I read this for this purpose, but not for it to become, there's no consent given, and any that was implied is recalled and revoked and returned to me in full. So use that power, folks. It is power. Okay, Page of Pentacles showed up for the current. They were hoping to make a little money on this. Page of Pentacles is a card of worthwhile effort. So again, what we're getting here now is not so much that this was a worthwhile effort for them, but that the pushback that was indicated with this card is worthwhile. Looking forward, King of Wands. Okay, Wands are an action card, and the King of Wands is a vision and leadership one. So people we're wising up, and we're not getting fooled, and we're not getting tricked nearly as often or as easily into letting our energy flow where we don't want it to flow, and learning that we can recall it back to ourselves once it does. Okay, Queen of Wands was getting a little more insight. She's a queen, a card that indicates accomplishment. And the other one, insight one, the whole bottom row was Wands. And this is a card of optimism and cautious optimism and discovery. So much to their surprise, people aren't being fooled and aren't being tricked, and they're understanding that our participation in media doesn't equate to consent. So if there was a hope that this was a way to get some of that, it's not going to work out nearly as well as they had hoped, and that's great. Now, that's it for this video. I do want to remind you that tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. London, and you can use a time and date converter that's available on the announcement, we will be having a meditation. The purpose of our meditation, it will be on a live stream here on YouTube, and our intent is to join collectively and put our energy towards the transmutation of ingredients in remedies that are available from big corporations. Any that aren't benign or beneficial, that those ingredients would become so, because that's what we're going to work at, transmuting those energies or ingredients to benign or beneficial. And I think that's an important effort to make. So join us if you care to. It's non-denominational, and your participation is welcome. So until next time, I send you love and light and everything bright, and so does Miss Chloe, who decided to join us here at the end. Bye.